I'm shocked that they even exist, these allegations, these accusations, because they're both groundless and unfair. Groundless because we did everything we could at the time to apprehend the cheaters and catch the cheaters. We didn't turn a blind eye. We didn't shy away from our responsibility. We did blood tests when nobody else was doing blowing tests. We did blood tests when it was not mandatory to do blood tests. And now we're being accused of having, I think, sitting on our hands in this period. And I think we vigorously defended ourselves. We have, and we still do it. We've opened our files to the World Anti-Doping Agency, which is investigating, and the independent commission has been put in place. We welcome them in our office, opening the file, and prove them that we did everything we could at the time based on the resources we had and based on the applicable regulatory framework.
Do you find that from continent to continent there's a different reason for why people dope?
We are a universal sport. And universal sport means we have to deal with 200 countries. And every country has a different education message be given, depending on the situation in the country. So every time we educate, you don't educate Kenyan athletes on anti-doping issues the same way you educate Jamaican athletes, or the same way you educate Russian athletes, because the situation is completely different culturally, and that's a challenge for us, is being able to have, as we said before, a tailor-made doping testing program, and you have to have a tailor-made education program.
Fighting doping is perhaps more difficult for you as a sport, whereas a sport like soccer, we very rarely hear about doping issues. In that, does that irk you?
Yes, a lot, because when I say the accusation against us, at the time the blood testing, this all come from the blood testing back 10 years ago. Who was doing blood testing at the time? It was us, it was cycling, the skiing, that's it. There was a handful of organizations. And those who should be investigated now are those who were not doing blood testing at the time, not those who were doing blood testing at the time. And in the communication, the media, you can't win. So when you do things, you're exposed, you catch cheaters, like cycling is doing, like we are doing, and then the conclusion of it is say your sport is dirty.